Russia and Ukraine have always had have had a long relationship. Even like Ukraine was part of the Russian Empire, and it's kind of gone back and forth. Like in the last 500 years, pretty much Ukraine has been attacked and been controlled by like every single one of its neighbors. Like it was part of the Polish Empire, it was part of the Lithuanian Empire, it was part of the Russian Empire, and then spurts of it being a free country in between all of those things. And so it's always kind of been the show where it's very close and intermingled because they are Eastern Slavs, just like the Russians and the Belarusians and Belarus. And so they've always had a very close relationship. And I mean, just like any political thing, there's people who are for what's going on and think it's a good change. There's people who are against it. But at least, I mean, I recently returned. I spent the entire summer in Moscow. So I was in Russia, and I didn't feel any political tensions there as an American. I went to the Crimea this summer, and for all I know, I may have been the only American in the entire peninsula at the time. I don't know, but and there were like even though that had just switched and they'd just switched over from using the hryvnia, which is the Ukrainian currency, to the ruble, which is the Russian currency, and all those things, and transitioning from being a part of Ukraine to being part of Russia, there wasn't any political tension there as well. So it's in the day-to-day life for many people, things haven't really changed. For others, I mean, they've really been struggling a lot and really suffering. Like I have some friends who, they weren't able to talk to their family for like 6 months because they were completely cut off, or they were sitting in their apartment and their building got shot up, kind of thing. And so it is a very real thing. Like all political things, people have different opinions on it, whether it's good, whether it's bad. But the members of the church have been very, very good about not worrying about who's right and who's wrong, but just really taking people in and taking, members who are fleeing as refugees from the war zone to, take them in and make sure that everyone is taken care of and helping people. So it's really focusing just on the safety of the people rather than, who's right and who's wrong, and just that'll eventually sort itself out one way or the other. But I think it's really hard without being there to even really know what's going on. Just because I think, news outlets kind of spin things the way they want it to be said. So if you watch the Russian news or the Ukrainian news and the American news, you'll get 3 very different stories. And so I think it's really hard to know what's actually kind of really the truth of what's going on.